let me start off by saying I cannot believe that I'm saying this, Steeler fan, but especially after last night. But congratulations are, in fact, in order. Now, that was the last thing that I thought that I would be saying to you today. But it seems that debacle last night was not actually a debacle at all, because it got you Yinzers your biggest wish. Adam Schefter breaking, quote, after a historic 19-season run in Pittsburgh, Mike Tomlin just informed his team that he is stepping down as the Steelers head coach. Sources tell @JFowler ESPN and me. The Steelers now will be looking for only their fourth head coach since 1969. Kind of harsh. Except, you know, Steeler fan, that's how you're feeling right about now. It's almost like you've already moved beyond last night. It's almost like last night didn't even happen. You could feel the weight lifting off the entire city of Pittsburgh. Now, I know the guys that play for Mike Tomlin would take great offense to that. Except I've been hearing it from their fans on this show, and not just this season, but the last few seasons. You know, the fact of the matter is, you knew when it was over. You could point right to when it was officially over. It was over when they booed Renegade. Even though that was one of my favorite Steeler moments ever, personally, you knew it was over then. You knew when he was hearing Fire Mike Tomlin chants at home on the weekly, and the fans were actually booing Renegade, that this ending was probably inevitable. But you know what? I'll be honest. I'm still pretty surprised that it came down this quickly.
Inevitable.
I'm not saying it's the wrong thing, far from it. But I am surprised that it came down this quickly. I mean, here I thought that I was going to spend the open talking about the Texans and their enormous win rather than the Steelers and their enormous drama. Turns out that Texans' huge win is actually Steeler fans' huge win. Not that I disagree with Steeler fan at all. And I've defended Mike Tomlin for a long time, and I'll still defend him. I still think the guy's a hell of a coach and leader and motivator. However, he had to go. Had to go. I'm surprised it happened this quickly again, but I'm not surprised that he stepped down, because this thing had clearly run its course. They were never going to fire him. That's the thing, Steeler fan, and you know this. They were never going to fire him. But considering that a divorce was always the best way forward for everybody. And clearly, Mike Tomlin himself agrees. The deal was not just to have another winning season. The deal was not just to make the playoffs. The goal for the Steelers this season was to finally end that playoff drought and finally win a postseason game for the first time in 9 years, and then make a run. And they failed, period. You see, this is why they were so out of character, and I give them credit for this. They made so many moves, they effectively pushed all their chips to the center of the table, not to win a single playoff game, but to win multiple playoff games. That's why the Steelers did the most un-Steeler thing ever. They pulled the trigger on deals, and they scratched big checks. Oh, and they waited for Aaron Rodgers to come in until he finally said yes, after they begged him over and over and over again. So they went all in on this season, and in return, Mike Tomlin became the first coach in the history of the Steelers franchise to go 9 consecutive seasons without a playoff win. That was not the plan. And that's one of the many reasons why it was time to move on. One of the main reasons why it was time for this guy to go. We all know he's never had a losing season. See, that's the biggest thing that Tomlin has going for him. That and that one Lombardi. Except he's had a losing season. It's kind of a misnomer, right? He's never had a losing season. Well, actually, he has. It's called the postseason. See, Tomlin is now 8-12 in his career in the postseason. We've had more than a season's worth of sample size, and the evidence is pretty clear. The dude, frankly, has not been a good playoff head coach in a long time. In fact, he's looking more and more like one of the worst playoff coaches in a long time, if not ever. Now, I don't say any of this to pile on Mike Tomlin. I like Mike Tomlin. You know, I've been defending this guy for years, but I'm making the point today that he did the right thing in stepping down and that everybody is better off for it. And I'm not just saying that because it's what Steeler fan wants to hear. I'm saying it because these facts are undeniable. For instance, Tomlin is 8-12 in the postseason now. Or he's become the first Steelers coach to ever go 9 seasons without a playoff win. Or how about his 7 playoff losses in a row? That ties Marvin Lewis's record. Or how Tomlin has now been one and done 9 times. That ties Marty Schottenheimer's record. So this is where we're at with Tomlin. Those are the names that are comparable to his playoff career at this point. Never mind that he won that ring when he was 36. You know, what have you done in the ensuing years? The names that he's being compared to are Marvin Lewis and Marty Schottenheimer. Now, both very, very good regular season coaches, but both infamously bad postseason coaches. Maybe you could give Tomlin some grace if the Steelers were constantly getting there and losing heartbreaking nail-biters that were coming down to the wire. But that's a huge part of the problem, too. They haven't been competitive in these games, and they weren't again last night. Here are the 4 Steeler playoff losses, the last 4. Lost by 24, lost by 14, lost by 14, lost by 21. So they can't even keep these games close. They can't even keep them within a single score. They can't even compete. They're getting stomped every single time. Listen, I always say this. I didn't make it up. It's a famous saying, but it's true, and I buy it. The standard is the standard, but especially in that town, especially the Steeler standard. And is there any single Steeler fan who will write in or call in today who's upset that Mike Tomlin is stepping down? Doubt that. So, where does that leave Mike Tomlin? Not really sure. Maybe he's already got himself a TV deal lined up. Maybe another job has got his attention. He's still technically under Steeler control through 2027. So if he wants to switch football jobs, then there's going to have to be compensation. So hard to tell where his mind is at right now. But clearly, he's been thinking about this for a minute or longer, that this was the end of the road in Pittsburgh, since it took him all of 12 seconds to step down after that loss. And again, he's doing exactly the right thing, because pretty much everything does run its course, and this had too. Guys rarely get to go out on their own terms. Star players, great coaches. I mean, just ask that extremely angry QB who passionately defended Tomlin and then F-bombed and stormed his way off the podium last night. But it's time. It was just time. And the Steelers, they do a hard reset every couple of decades, and it was time for another hard reset. Every Steeler fan agrees, and even Mike Tomlin himself agrees. It's like 5 minutes ago, this dude was mocking fans, blowing kisses, and now he's stepping down. And so I was going to advocate for it. Watching that game last night and rolling out this morning, I was at you. None of that. None of that. None of that. If you're watching on the stream, pounding his chest, blowing kisses, the equivalent of online straight fire. Seeing what happened to him and them last night, I was absolutely going to advocate for this. But my feeling was, again, there was no way that team was going to fire him. They just weren't. So I was going to advocate, hey, Mike, do the right thing. You got to step down. It's time. It's time. They're not going to do it for you, so you need to do the right thing. And he did. And frankly, I did not expect it to come that soon. I expected it, but not that soon. I mean, I fully planned on rolling in here and hyping up the Texans, you know, the team that delivered that beatdown to open up the program. But there is your breaking news. Hey, Steeler fan, Pittsburgh, you've been coming at me for the better part of 2 or 3 years, telling me I have no idea what the hell is going on in that town. I don't know what I'm doing. Why am I defending this guy? Well, hey, national media guy, in California. The hell do you know anyway? You're not here. You don't know how it is. You don't know how we feel. All right, well, you got what you wanted. So how do you feel? Hit me up. I would like some reaction. 1-800-636-8686. Bet you're not booing Renegade this morning. So what's interesting is they never hire head coaches. Right now, you're all standing for Renegade. Swinging your terrible towel, singing at the top of your lungs. They don't have a lot of experience in hiring head coaches. So where do you go from here? And how about that division? Kevin Stefanski out. John Harbaugh out. Tomlin out.
Hey, John.
How about Zach the Rat being the only one who survived? That's ironic.
Ionic.
Even he's got to be like, how the hell am I the last one standing? Wasn't I the worst coach in the division this year? And it wasn't even close. So now where do the Steelers go? Because they're not used to hiring coaches. Where do they go from here? Yeah, I know. Why don't they just trade coaches? Why don't we send, because this wouldn't be awkward or weird, why don't we send Tomlin to Baltimore and Harbaugh to Pittsburgh? Not weird at all. Just kidding. No, but honestly, if you're Pittsburgh, where do you go? Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, Mike T. You know, what kind of a head coach are you looking for now? What do you do? Where do you go? That's going to be fascinating. And the coaching carousel, damn, that thing's drunk. That is wild, right? There are like new names and new jobs that keep getting added, and the jobs that are being added are good jobs. Good jobs because of really stable ownership. Good jobs because of stability. And good jobs in some cases, like Baltimore, really good rosters. So now what?